Hi, welcome back
Hi,
to another episode.
of the Boys Next Door. I really like your vibe today you got going on.
Very artsy. That is so nice. Or am I beanie on? You look very artsy as well.
A little butch.
No, not even a little bit. Adorable, but no. No.
Who would be called adorable? A puppy?
Okay. No, I don't. Okay, well, you don't look butch. You look very handsome.
Thanks.
Dapper.
Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, so good episode today.
I think it is going to be a good one. It's
Okay.
called...
Who are you influenced? Oh, you want to? Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
We're going to say, don't be a copycat. Meow.
Oh,
But... you
But-
can.
it really also, like, the whole point behind it was, like, really, who are you influenced by and why? You know?
And when you say who am I influenced, are you asking me a specific person?
No. Well, yes and no. It's not even just generally for you. That's, like, kind of the whole, general vibe of of this topic is, I feel like even in our industry, in any industry, it's easy to get caught up in Instagram, TikTok, whatever.
Imposter syndrome.
Imposter
We
syndrome.
all have it, guys. We all.
Yeah, it happens. I think whether you realize it or not, because so many, maybe other people that do the same thing you do, like you're seeing their work and where they're at, and it's hard not to compare or
overanalyze something that you know that you love, and then you're like, this is a beautiful photo of work that I just did.
right,
But then you see something else and it looks completely different.
right,
And you're like, oh shit, is mine actually good?
right.
Or is it like, or does mine look bad compared to that?
But that's not. It doesn't. Like that's the
But
whole
it
point.
doesn't.
Your aesthetic is good enough. My aesthetic is good enough. It's fine to be like inspired by. Like I think there's a big difference by looking at. We're just going to use makeup as a point of
A
reference
reference point.
for us because that's what it is. Or hair. You could look at a picture and be like, oh, I love the way her makeup is. I want to do that. I want to create a similar look, recreate it. But that's different than just like copying
paste.
and pasting the same look on over and over again, because like I want to be inspired by a look to recreate it or put my own spin on it, because don't you
I was
agree?
gonna say, I was just thinking about when you were saying that. I think it's hard that, especially when makeup artists post product breakdowns, let's just say on a very specific look.
Yeah.
Because we're all guilty. I genuinely love a product breakdown for whatever it is, whether it's a celebrity makeup artist or somebody else in our industry, because I'd love to see what people are using.
Yeah.
But if I start noticing somebody is using the same products on everybody and creating the exact same look, I'm like, are you a one-trick pony?
And that's why it looks the same too.
Yes.
Because it's the same products. No, that's a really good point. I just think, is that what, I don't know, maybe this is imposter syndrome. I don't know if that's what it's like. I never heard of that before. What does it mean, imposter syndrome?
I would say I don't have the exact definition.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you
right now.
feeling,
Okay,
and then you tell me if this is what you thought you meant. I don't know. But like, I've been doing makeup a long time, so I'm pretty comfortable with like knowing what my vibe is.
Yeah.
And whether I tweak certain things from like trends or just evolving. But I feel like at one point I was looking at other makeup that may be in the same market and trying to be like, oh, well, then I have to do this now. Like, let me add this. Like, let me add a lot of
What? I'm
just for an example, like, let me put a lot of white under here because that's what people are doing. Or like, I don't want to do that. That's what
and I feel like we did fall into like a little bit of
bit of
that.
like that. And that's like, you don't lie.
It's like intense.
Yeah, we're like, why am I doing this? Because I, want it to look like this person's makeup. No, I don't. And I don't want to try and be the same as another artist to say like, oh, I do makeup like this person. I want to do what I know looks good.
What you love.
And what I love.
And what we both love too, because we always say that the people that find you when they're looking, let's just say for a wedding, for their makeup artist, are looking at your aesthetic and the quality of your work. With us, it's a little bit different because we're together.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will be like, oh, I want a very specific vibe for my wedding, not just like my makeup to look amazing.
Right.
They want everything. I think that's really sweet, and I really am very grateful for that. But I don't want to feel like I have to post something that has, I had myself literally crying, you guys. This is so fun. Like, I thought it was so funny, but it's really not that funny. Like a cappuccino eye, because everyone, like our episode when we were talking about Teddy Brown brunette, I am coining the term cappuccino eyeshadow. Because why does everybody think it has to be white into brown and then blended out in the outer corner, or a soft beige color with a little bit of brown?
You're right.
Swiss chocolate.
Well, I think that's like because like you would do like I found myself like doing a normal eye that I would normally do, and then adding concealer in the center of the lid after I was almost done, and then re-putting more
It makes it
eyeshadow.
more intense. It does.
And sometimes it may call for that, but not every time, and not on every person, and not everyone's eyelid can also handle that.
Correct.
And I was at one point being like, why am I even doing this? Like, I don't even think it needs this just because this is what I saw. Is that like imposter syndrome?
I wish I had my phone to read the real definition.
But either way, that's what I was feeling like.
I think it's you not thinking that your work is good enough because you see other people posting beautiful work and you hold yourself back from posting anything at all.
Maybe it should look like this. And I think that for me, it came down to finding lighting that I was consistently happy with. And if I don't post someone's picture versus another, sometimes it has to do with just lighting, where I'll be like, oh, I like the way that looked. We all know there's a million apps. People use Facetune, Face App. Everybody uses these different things.
Insta-size, everything.
What is that?
Insta-size.
Insta-size. Okay, so like there's all these things, but you want to make sure that if you're going to showcase your work a certain way, you really better be able to deliver that in person.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then you're just kind of setting yourself up for failure.
It's funny you say that because I feel like more recently I've had people say, can you send me that photo? Like, we always send our photos out right away.
Yes.
To our brides.
Because we want them to have like good ones to share.
Yes, like, good lighting, everything. And I will send it to them
right away.
Right there. And then I will show it to them right off my phone. Like, this is what you really look like.
Right.
Because I feel like recently, like, I've been at weddings or like I've met people that have gotten their makeup done elsewhere or their hair done regardless where it was. And they were like, I know this is me, but it's clearly very filtered.
Oh, when they got the picture sent to them.
Correct.
Okay, you know what?
And they've showed me their real photo that they took.
I think that's true because even regular people that aren't a makeup artist, people are using those apps too, so they know if it's filtered. And you're right, that's a good point. Just yesterday, when we were on a wedding, I sent somebody a picture after I did their makeup, and she said, oh, did you do anything to it? It looked so good. And I said, no. I said, but you can do whatever you want to it. And then she zoomed in on it and she was like, oh, I'm just going to Facetune my pimples out.
Okay.
And then I think she realized when she
Let the girl do it.
She looked up close that like, oh, you didn't do anything to it because I see my pimples still. It was covered, but it was still, you could see the texture or whatever.
I understand that.
Now, maybe if I was going to post it, like what I have to say, I've never Facetuned a pimple out.
I will never say never.
That's ridiculous.
Definitely.
Like, or sharpen something if I felt like it.
And a little saturation.
Someone told me a long time ago, it was with hair color though, it wasn't even with makeup. They said if you have to adjust a filter or an edit on a hair picture to make it look like it read in person, that's what you have to do. You know what I mean? Like sometimes if you take picture in a natural daylight and I'm like, oh, it didn't
like
look that
lost some dimension or whatever.
Or it lost some dimension. If you need to sharpen something, that's a totally different story. But if you're gonna reface your whole, image, Gina Keel from Housewives.
Okay,
so she just posted a picture. This happened, I think, like so recently.
One of the OGs of the OC.
One of the OGs of the OC, Gina Keel.
If you remember her, she's the one that Tamara threw that wine glass in her face.
Viciously.
The red wine in her eyes.
Threw it in her eyes.
Yeah.
Good scene.
But I know what you're going to say.
So she posted a picture of herself that had a face app, not like a Facetune. So it looked like a whole different...
A mask.
It had like... really significantly younger. Everything was changed. She's a pretty woman, but this was, so her daughter wrote underneath the picture, take this down right now. And not only did she take it down, she reposted the real picture. And everybody was so positive. Now, it made it like, because it was such a juxtaposition, we'll say, of seeing them, because now, of course, all the
like day and night.
Right. And now all the blogs are posting them side by side. And then with the daughter's comments underneath and, trying to make it like vicious. But I was like, why would you even pick one that was so significant? I mean, like, you could see that it was. You saw it?
I saw it.
Was that not wild?
But I feel like a lot of people are doing that now.
But I feel like on someone that's like
I know people that are even using apps like that on their kids, like to give them a little extra jazz.
Seriously.
Like, let's say it's a beautiful family picture, and I'm like, oh, this is AI. But that's besides the point.
Well, that's a whole nother.
They're using AI in a sense that they're like, oh, like I want to give them longer hair or make their eyes sparkle a little bit. And I'm all about it.
That's different.
But like time and place.
Time and a place. There's a time and a place. Right. Because if you're going to, you just got to be able to make sure you can back your shit up. Because if you're going to present yourself, this is why sometimes when people come for trials, they're 5 trials deep because they went to an Instagram, no disrespect, no tea, no shade, but like an Instagram makeup artist that maybe has not been trained in all various skin tones or is really good at doing their makeup but isn't good at correcting and doing,
I want to add to that and say that I think just because somebody has a signature look doesn't mean it's the look for you.
That's such a good point.
Right?
That really is such a good point.
And I think it's important when you're finding an artist that you know that they're pretty much able to do anything, because just because you love that shimmery white eyeshadow on this beautiful girl doesn't mean you're going to love it on yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like it sets people up for failure if they're like, oh my God, but they couldn't do this on me.
I know. Like crazy, working with my friend Daniela at MAC, she always wore her makeup a very specific way, still does. We've spoken about her before, and they would always ask for, like, well, what do you want? Can I have what she's wearing? Or what does she have on? Or they would tell her, can you do exactly what you're wearing? And she would always, she's the one that taught me, like, you can still do it. You just have to do a version that works for them. Like, you know what I mean? So there's always, that's a really good point. It doesn't mean that it works for you just because it's their signature look.
I think even with bridal makeup, everybody, especially in New York, on Long Island, Jersey, has a very specific in their head idea of what it's supposed to look like. And my biggest thing is, I always say, everyone's looking at all these other makeup artists in our area, but no one's looking at like true celebrity makeup artists and the red carpet.
That is such a good point, because if you
and that's the tea, baby.
That is a really good point, because you are not going to see like people on a red carpet with the kind of makeup that is in this bridal market sometimes. You're so right, and that's just the truth. I'm sorry.
And that's where I'm personally drawing inspiration from is,
because,
and you gotta
and maybe if you want, what, that's a good point, but I feel like because we want to do things maybe that aren't just bridal.
Of course.
But in some of those looks, especially for a bride, like, that is going to one day, you may look back on that and be horrified.
Listen, I love a lot of makeup.
Absolutely.
I 100% do.
That's not,
but it's a fine line, girl.
It's just like listen, it already happens. There's pictures of myself from being in weddings over the years that I'm already horrified at what I looking like a pumpkin, but like there's a bird in my head, like terrible things. And I remember my mom looking at pictures of weddings and being like, oh my God, look at us. We all have on blue eyeshadow and we all had a big, flip in our hair. And, I think that's just a part of it. Trends change and then you look back on them and you're horrified at some of them, but
yeah. I'll tell you this. I'll give you a really good example. Like Lindsay Lohan. People are dying over her plastic surgery that she's got. Alleged, but she's done something.
But alleged plastic surgery.
Alleged.
That's the real thing, is that okay, so that's what people are trying to figure out right now is it just fillers, skin things?
Is it her makeup artist?
Is it? Well, she's always like, when she's doing things, she always uses Christopher Buckle. She's been using
her makeup a lot, though.
No, she has. But
shout out, girl.
But I'm saying between Ash, Christopher Buckle, like her makeup has always been done.
Always.
But they're also showing right now pictures of her when she did her own makeup and has like black eyeliner and a spray tan to like what she looks like right now, done by Ash or Christopher Buckle, and then
she
compare it. But the evolution of her whole makeup is
changed.
changed.
Like all of those girls though, like Paris Hilton, another one who has literally said, I have not gotten fillers, I've not gotten Botox, any of that. In her face, what was the thing you just showed me yesterday? I believe that she's not gotten fillers, but I don't believe she's never gotten Botox.
I want to agree. I think that's what I
But
agree.
literally, you got it 15 years ago. It's gone now.
I know, but it's not also impossible. Because remember we were talking about recently how like 40-ish is when, like Paris Hilton's 40, right?
Yeah.
That's when people used to get facelifts. But now people are getting them more in their 50s and 60s because of Botox and fillers. You're able to prolong it. But it's not, my point is, it's not impossible that she just looks really good still and hasn't done anything yet. Because
don't be telling me it's a cream though, girl, because I don't believe
I
you.
think that she has a good bone structure, and you see pictures from back in the day. Like, I didn't even realize, because I always thought she had such tiny lips. But then when I looked at pictures of her from like the simple,
They're a little bit fuller.
They were full, and she just was wearing pink baby doll gloss and nothing else. So of course they didn't look as plump as they do now with like liner and the whole nine. So I don't know, maybe it's true, she hasn't really.
But I just think their looks are something that people can draw inspiration from, especially the way like Christina Aguilera, like those iconic girls are wearing their makeup now, as opposed to just having that cappuccino eye.
Yes.
Because there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I personally am so inspired when I see those girls and people on the red carpet wearing different looks. I'm not saying I love a red carpet look with no makeup. I can appreciate it.
You can be,
but I like a more structured look.
Finished.
Always. And I'll be looking, award season coming up.
Love it. Can't
wait.
It's true.
But I think as far as trying to be inspired from something, you have to like open the box a little bit.
Yeah. And as hard as it sounds, I just think like when you're building your own brand or you're building your own page, especially with like hair and makeup, try and not get caught up in the masses of like what everybody's doing. Like there's a difference from drawing inspiration and being inspired and looking up to somebody than like just, have feeling you have to copy something or do.
Why is everybody's signature bridal look the same?
Right. It doesn't have to be. Like it shouldn't though. And because then it's not a competition also.
No.
Like we live in, just in our market alone, like we live in one of the most saturated markets probably in the country.
I would say between here, Jersey,
right?
The city, yeah.
It's a huge, huge bridal market, but there is millions upon millions of people. There are someone for everyone. Like there's enough to go around. Like it doesn't have to be like a competition. Like I want all of like my fellow artists, people that I worked with back in the day to now succeed. I want them all to do like well. I find it easy to genuinely be happy.
I love when you see somebody that you know doing beautiful work. I love that.
I love to see the evolution of that.
Girl, good for you.
There is somebody that I used to work with back at Mac, and she does like more of like wellness seminars now. And I forgot what they're called, so I don't want to like say it wrong, but she does all of these different things. And recently I saw that at her wellness seminar, she did a makeup class.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and she was like, okay, like taking out my brushes, like I know it's been a long time.
Oh, and the dust off then.
Yes, but she was like, time to merge my new life and my old life. And I thought it was so cool.
I gotta check that out.
Christina, I'm a shout out to her. But I don't know. I think it's called Awake Your Goddess Bitch. I think that's what her thing is.
Oh, Awake Your Goddess
Bitch. I think, Christina, I hope I'm not misquoting.
Anything with bitch.
But either way, she did makeup and she still does makeup good. And I thought it was so cool to see her new thing and her old thing come together. And I was so happy for her.
I love when artists like branch out too and like do something else.
Yeah.
Because it shows your creativity, you're passionate about something.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes, do you ever find it shocking when like, but if somebody that you know is like a good makeup artist or a hairstylist and they're doing something like totally unrelated and you're like, wait, I feel like how did that pop
behind a desk now?
You're like, I know, and sometimes you have to for different circumstances or life changes, but especially when it's somebody that you know is so talented, you're like, oh, I thought you were so amazing.
And I think sometimes people just get burnt out. Doing what we do because it's a lot.
That'll do it.
From a lot of different factors. But I think the most important thing, even with myself, is if I see something and I love it, like I'm still going to make it my own.
Yeah.
And I have no problem telling a client that I think this makeup is beautiful.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Even if I'm doing someone's hair, I'm like, I love this. And I'm going to draw inspiration from it and get all the key points that you love about it.
Right.
But it's still going to read different because I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And you have to just say that to somebody.
To Lauren D'Amelio's class.
Shout out Lauren.
Lauren, it was such a great class, and she is the nicest girl.
She's stunning.
So beautiful.
Stunning.
Inside and out. And she, when we got to talk to her, was basically like, I can't believe you guys came. And we were like, I love your work. And I think that you are so talented.
I just want to support her too.
Yeah. And it was a great experience.
So much fun.
And I took at least 3 things away from that class that I was like, oh,
I'll tell you this right now.
Yeah, tell me.
Lauren, I'm using that Elemis Dynamic Resurfacing Pad on my face. I used it today right before I got here. And it's one of my favorite things that I've learned
from that class.
Yep. Because it's amazing.
There's certain things that I just like.
Hello, Makeup Forever, your lip liner that you always wear.
Forever. I have it on right now. It was like
Wherever Walnut.
Yep.
Anywhere Caffeine.
Anywhere Caffeine, Wherever Walnut, both 2 great colors. And I feel like she's the one that turned me on to the Era Foundation airbrushes.
I'm not going to lie. She also turned us on to that Sunset Strip Too Faced palette. That is Lauren.
I think I even got that in that gratis bag from her.
Yes.
Lauren D'Amelio.
Yes.
Adore. But either way.
It's amazing. So we love that even for just product recommendations.
Yes, but support your artists. Support.
Yes.
Support. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I agree.
Root for people. Want people to succeed. You wanting other people to succeed does not take away from
your own success.
Like, it's
true.
It just puts you in a place where you're receiving things and like you want to collaborate with people. Like, I never want to ever have somebody like say like, oh, they're, like just like, I don't know. Like, it's just, you know how the industry can be. Like, I always just want to come from a positive place and lift up other artists.
Always.
Always.
Always, always, always.
That's the truth of it.
And more occasion than one, honestly.
Yeah.
Whether it's in a professional or personal setting.
Absolutely. But remember, your aesthetic is good enough. We always have room for growth and like to evolve. And like, I always like to, I don't want to ever stop learning because I feel like it's boring if you just like level out.
And we always say in the beginning of the year, we want to just pick up a few new things. Every January, we're like, okay, we're going to pick up this by the end of the year.
I feel like that's a lot of the times when we have taken classes in the beginning of the year.
In the winter months.
Didn't we go to Lauren's in like winter?
March.
It was March. Okay, so. But I feel like it's a good time to like freshen up your skills.
Hone in on your craft.
Yeah.
Think about what you want to do that's going to set you apart this upcoming season.
Yeah.
I know, I'm thinking about it, girl.
It's true. And when you look at your Instagram or you look at pictures of your work, you should feel like proud of it, regardless of in comparison to someone else's or, we were guilty of it. How many times like there's a lot of pictures that we have where we call them just hanging in purgatory because you overanalyze something
in the draft.
Right. And then before you know it, you have 84 drafts and you're like, oh, and it's a shame because we're all so
I catch myself too when I do that. I'm like, oh, I actually love this.
I know. And then
recently I stumbled upon something and I was like, with fresh eyes. Because in the moment I was like, oh, do I love this?
But I feel like a lot of times, I'm going to be honest with you, especially like I'll see certain pictures on your phone and I'm like, how did you not post this? It's like a really like beautiful makeup. A lot of them. I feel like a lot of the drafts are, and that's why sometimes I get on you about like, let's just post it now because it's never going to end up happening and it's too beautiful to not.
That's sweet. I think it's important though, like how you were just saying with your old work that you have on there, people love to see the evolution of like, because I've seen girls, even when we're there that day scrolling through our Instagram, and they'll show me a picture from like 5 years ago.
It's funny you say that because I remember even one time I said to you, like, are we supposed to like archive all of these? And you were like, no. They're like, why? And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like when I look at people's, this is a perfect example. When I look at people's pages, they only have, 12 posts of makeup. And you were like, no, like we're always going to show the evolution of where we've come from. And, and I was like, you're right. I like that.
Whether it's the style of the photo you're taking, the work you're doing inside.
That is so that is something too, just looking at how different like a photo, because they're all on your phone and how different they were to now how crisp what do I say? Sometimes it looks like you're looking through something that's got like Vaseline smeared on the lens. It's
I think
so
though for the new
blurry.
year, I'm gonna print out real photos.
And you what with them?
I think I'm gonna make photo albums.
And do what with them?
I gotta ask Jenna for some ideas on what to do with a real photo.
Like you, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna.
No, like people are always saying like we have thousands of pictures on our phones. Yeah, we are doing nothing with. On my phone right now. I'm not even kidding you guys. I have 35,000 pictures.
I understand, but I'm just saying. I was more or less asking, like, are you talking about like vacation
portfolio,
photo,
let's
a work
say.
portfolio,
I would love
a coffee
that.
table book, pictures?
These be gorgeous.
Never even printed our wedding pictures. Still,
hear this.
that's what I'm saying. So like, it was a vague statement. I'm like, what are we printing? Because there's a lot. There's a lot that needs to be printed.
There's
I think that's a good idea.
The printing press is gonna be on fire by the time I'm done.
I didn't know if you meant like we're gonna print makeup images and just hang them. I'm like, what are we printing?
I don't know. Oh, maybe in the bathroom that could be.
We've always said that, and I feel like we should, like, even at the bathroom at work.
Yeah, I love.
Or even in our house, like a beautiful makeup picture.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have to be like literal, like dead on. They can be something like artsy.
Yeah, in our office at home.
There's so many that we have that are like cool like that.
Even the ones we get back from the photographers.
I heard a corkboard is coming today.
This one, Amazon Queen.
You said that we were gonna, you wanted a corkboard again, and I
do. I love a vision board. We got that really cool.
The one that I ordered is so much cooler than it doesn't look like a cork.
You knew what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
It's that antique frame we bought at the what is that store?
In the one in Patrick's store, antique store
in Sayville, Oakdale.
Oh, that.
I want to put it in there.
I think they might be too big. The one I got is like a bunch of squares. You could probably make it as big as you.
That's where I love to draw inspiration from too. Is making a vision board for the year.
Yes.
And it's so important. I'm definitely going to do that before the end of the year this year.
Even just life. Like I like having things, because you'd be surprised at how much, if you look at something and it's in your, whether it's actually on your vision board or just like around somewhere that you see all the time, it does. I can't tell you how many times things where I've been in the moment and be like, why do I feel like I have deja vu right now? And I'm like, oh, like I've been thinking I've had this here for years, even sometimes, and things.
It's going to happen.
It does. But I think vision board, that's a good one.
All right, so we'll end it on that note.
End it on the vision board. Yes. But just remember, you're good enough. Your makeup is good enough. Your hair is good enough.
Stay true to you. Stay inspired.
Be artistic. Be yourself.
Get inspiration from what makes you just go, damn. No, I'm serious. Damn.
Damn, I'm
damn. I can't.
I mean, I don't think you could sum it up any better than that. Look,
thank you guys so much. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow us
on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We have all of those things.
Yes. Yeah. Send us DMs.
We have a link tree on our Beauty Boys Instagram for all of the things I just mentioned.
It's on our Beauty Boys, the Beauty Boys NY, and on the Boys Next Door pod.
Yes. But I was saying on the beautyboys.ny on Instagram, there's a link tree that has all of the things for Beauty Boys and for the Boys Next Door.
Correct.
Right? Isn't it?
Yes, but it's on both. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Of course it's on both. All right, you hit the point. See you next week.
He's done. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.